Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to Dr. Shahnaz. My name is Nur ADILAH binti YAAKUB, number Matric S55825. Now I would like to present Financial Accounting Report 3. Based on Bursa Malaysia, I choose Niche Capital Emas Holdings Berhad and Tome Consolidated. Both of them have in same industry, which is consumer product. Here I attach statements of financial position from Niche Capital Emas Holdings Berhad. Next is statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Next is statement of financial position for Tome Consolidated Berhad. This is statement of profit or loss for Tome Consolidated Berhad. I choose liquidity ratio to analysis because liquidity ratio is used to measure a company's ability to pay debt obligation. Margin of safety to calculate the ratio throughout: number 1, current ratio; number 2, quick ratio; number 3, account receivable turnover; and lastly, inventory turnover. The current ratio is a liquidity ratio that measures companies' abilities to pay short-term debt obligation or those within 1 year. The formula of current ratio is current asset divided by current liability. The current ratio 6.26 shows that Niche Capital Emas Holding Berhad have enough current assets to cover the current liability. For every RM1 ringgit of current liability, Niche Capital Emas Holdings Berhad have 6.26 of current asset available to pay it. The current ratio 2.01 shows that Tome Consolidated Berhad have enough current asset to cover the current liability. For every RM1 ringgit of current liability, Tome Consolidated have RM2.01 of current asset available to pay it. My comment is the current ratio of Niche Capital Emas Berhad is 6.26, while the current ratio of Tome Consolidated Berhad is 2.01. The quick ratio, also known as acid test ratio, that measures the ability of company to pay all outstanding short-term liabilities when come due, with only assets can quickly convert to cash. The formula is the current assets minus inventory minus the prepaid expense and divide the current liability. The quick ratio 1.58, which is more than 1, it shows that Niche Capital Emas Holdings have enough liquid asset to pay their current liabilities. The quick ratio 0.26, which is less than 1, it shows that Tome Consolidated Berhad doesn't have enough liquid asset to pay their current liabilities and should be treated carefully. The account receivable turnover, also known as a debtors turnover ratio, is an efficiency ratio that measures how many times company can collect average account receivable into a cash during a period. The formula is: first, we need to find the net account receivable, which beginning plus ending inventory, and then divide by 2. Next, net credit sales divide account receivable. The account receivable turnover 0.95 means Niche Capital Emas Holdings Berhad collected the receivable 0.65 times on the average that year. The account receivable turnover 19.54 means Tome Consolidated Berhad collected the receivable 19.54 times on the average of that year. My comment is Niche Capital Emas Holding Berhad collect 0.95 times, while Tome Consolidated Berhad collect 19.54 times on the average that year. The inventory turnover is a liquidity ratio that measures how many times a company has sold and repletes inventory during a given period due to sales. The inventory turnover measures how well a company generates sales from their inventory. The formula for inventory turnover is cost of goods sold divided the average value of inventory. To find the average value of inventory is beginning inventory plus ending inventory divided 2. The inventory ratio 0.46 means that the initial capital amount holdings per head collected the receivable 0.46 times on average that year. The average account receivable turnover this would be 365 divided 0.46, which is 793.84 days. The inventory ratio 1.12 means that Tomei Consolidated Berhad collected the receivables 1.12 times on the average that year. My comment for initial capital amount holdings Berhad is a customer average takes 763 days to pay their receivable, while for Tomei Consolidated Berhad's customers average takes 326 days to pay their receivable. Thank you to our lecturer that given us an opportunity to represent our individual assignment, which is to analyze the financial report from the both of company.